All right, a quick demo on some of your bisque pieces. Glazing. You should have gotten 3 buckets of glaze. One of them's a Shino, one of them's called Summer Green, and one of them is called Oatmeal. So this is an oatmeal. In oxidation, it comes out white, all right? This is Summer Green. In oxidation, it's pretty lifeless. So you're going to want your Summer Green to go in the electric kiln. And finally, a Shino, which is kind of a brownish, reddish glaze. It's more
has more dimension.
Yeah, thin, it's kind of the brown, and where it's thicker, it'll come out white, okay? And so we'll talk about, that's a new one for all of you. So we'll talk about that later. Remember, if you get too much glaze on the bottom of your pots and don't clean it off, you'll be put on what we call a cookie, and you're stuck down. There's deductions for that. This is oatmeal in reduction. It looks great. It feels great. You can use that on everything if you want. I don't care how you glaze. It's all up to you. And I'm going to start. You got a bunch of cups. And what I normally do, and I'm doing something wrong there. You notice I was relying on the handle as a handle, which we shouldn't do. It's been bisque, yes, but if it's not attached firmly, it will break off. So I put a little glaze in there. I'm just going to twirl it around, give it a shake, 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 right? Fingers on the waxed area, straight down, boom. Shake that off. Also, if you like the drips, like for instance with the Shino, you'd flip it around and allow them to drip down. Okay. Then we've got this, and I didn't mention, I've got my buckets of glaze. I've got some plastic containers that I can use as pouring devices. I have a Rubbermaid, one for each glaze. Don't stir one glaze with the spatula or stick in the other. You'll contaminate it. Okay, I have a container just to catch my over spill, right? And you know, with the plates, there's just 2 ways to attack it. You could pour the glaze in and twirl it all around, but chances are you're going to get a really thick area in the center. So I've waxed it, but that's not very much space. So I'm thinking I'm just going to leave the back bare clay. I've got my fingers there, and I'm just going to start like so, okay? You're going to have to hang on to it while it dries. And I'll clean up what is on the back side. Here you are. You can see it start to dry. And when all these areas turn that dusty color, that means I can touch it without it coming off in my fingers, okay? And there we go. Okay. Now, we have a little bigger pot, and this will be how you are going to need to glaze your figurative piece as well. So first things first, you're going to want to glaze the inside. And I'm just twirling it around. It's still in the base. And then as it just starts to come out, twirl a little faster. Okay. I would probably let that dry for, I don't know, half hour or so before I go to glaze the outside, because the pot has started to absorb some of that glaze into it. And if you glaze it too soon, it won't absorb as much glaze as you might like. You can either leave these accidental drips on the neck, take a sponge and just clean them off, all right? So again, you've got two options here. We can pour from the outside, or you can wax part of the piece and then pour your glaze on it, or you can coat it with a glaze and then put a little bit of glaze on top of it. The main thing is start with it upside down, and the reason is this way we're getting the glaze is thickest down by the neck, and it won't cause us any problems running off the pot. If you do it the other way around, you'll have your thickest band of glaze down here by the pot where you don't want it, where it's most likely to run off and get yourself stuck down. You can see the pot is starting to dry a little bit. Now, if I wanted to put another glaze on it, I could right now, or that would be good enough. So finally, I got my basket, my fake basket here, and I'm going to put, sorry about that, didn't mean to block your view here.
That's fine.
I did not mean to I'm going to use Shino on this. You know, it's supposed to be this basket, and I thought the Shino glaze looked really basket-like in my mind. And here again, don't be afraid to use your wax and make patterns on this. And now I don't know if this is going to leak or not, so I'm going to put it over this container. Always be prepared, right? Yeah, no leaks. Good. So again, I'm just going to take it up to the edge, roll it around. And then I'm just pouring it out. Now, I've left that. I'm going to leave those on there. Shino drips will show up after the firing, so it's just a little more interest. You'll need to scrape these glazes up. It's real important to have a container to save your overspill, and also clean up each glaze and wash off your bucket before you go to another glaze, because otherwise it'd be contaminated. So for something like this, you know, I think I would just it's important to let your wax dry so that it will resist the glaze. It's real handy when it works. Now, I'm gonna have to go inside carefully. Do a little. Now I got a little spare spots up here on the rim, so I'm going to let it dry just a little bit so I can touch it. So for your sculptures, I would put them over a bin and pour glaze over them. If you want to highlight something like the eyes or something like that, you're going to have to put a paint glaze on, 3 coats, then wax that area, and then pour your glaze on over the top. So what I'll do next was I'll pour glaze in here and pour it out. It's taking a longer time to dry, so I'm just going to walk away and come back in about 10 minutes or so. And so there you go. That's our little quick demo on glazing. Have fun. Take chances.
Order of Shino.
What? Oh yeah. So the Shino glaze is unusual, more unusual than anything else we have. It has a soluble material in it called soda ash, which with water does make lime. So yeah, don't be doing a manicure in it. It'll sting after a while. Yeah, it's not, oh, ouch. No, but as sometimes I'm glazing all day, hands in the Shino, yeah, I could feel it. You can feel a little soapy texture to it. There's a rule or a thought, Shino first or it's the worst. So if you're combining different glazes, you always want to put the Shino on first. Because of the soda ash, if you put another glaze under the soda ash, Shino glazes, it is likely to boil and blister and look like concrete. Also, it's a reduction-only glaze. It does not like oxidation, and it just is not going to look good for you there. So make sure you get your Shino glazes into the reduction kiln. Charles understands this, so give him a heads up. Okay, I'm trying to find a bit of a dry patch I can hang on to here for you. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right, there we go, and good luck.